Hey friends, Ash here with Gents. Hope you're doing really well. Today we're going to be going over 5 different easy to wear niche fragrances that are very versatile. Yes, another versatility video. For some reason, people like versatile fragrances that you can pull off in lots of different situations. I don't know why that is. Seriously though, today's fragrances you can use in a whole bunch of different situations. Daytime, nighttime, casually, to the office, on a date, whatever. These are fragrances that are very easy to pull off because they're so likable. And because they're niche fragrances, they've got that quality to help set yourself apart a little bit from the other guys out there that possibly, maybe set yourself apart. Lots to talk about. Let's jump into it. Today's video is sponsored by fragranceusa.com. Got a link in the description to their website. Make sure to go check them out. They're an up and coming fragrance discounter. So they've got niche fragrances, designer fragrances at great prices. Of course, everything there is completely authentic as well. So shout out to Fragrance USA for sponsoring the video. And if you use the code GENT15, you'll get 15% off your order. So make sure to use that anytime you shop on the website. Save yourself or actually a little extra money because they're already marked off. So save yourself a little extra money. That's what I should say. All right, let's get this started with Hassevat from Nishane. This one has pineapple, grapefruit, oak moss, and bergamot as some of the notes in the fragrance, along with some woods in the base. This gets compared to a popular fragrance out there. I'm gonna let you think about that for a second. Yes, Creed Aventus, good job. You did great, yeah. Of course, that's really obvious. This fragrance has been talked about a lot. Creed Aventus has been talked about a whole lot. And so if you've heard of this fragrance, you probably already know that this gets compared to Aventus. Some of the differences though, some people will actually tell you that Hassevat is more sophisticated, more refined than Creed's Aventus. Do I think that it's more sophisticated than Aventus? Not really. I think they're pretty much the same as far as sophistication level goes, as if that's a thing, as if there's a sophistication bar that goes from 1 to 10, and when each fragrance comes out, somebody goes, sophistication of Nishane Hassevat, 8.83 out of 10. Creed's Aventus, peasant juice, 7.9. That does not happen. But some people do think that this is a little more sophisticated. Personally, I think they're pretty much the same. This does, though, have more oak moss that comes out as it dries down, whereas Creed's Aventus, you're going to get more smoke from the birch, and that smokiness is not present here. This one is fresher overall, generally, than Creed's Aventus. Of course, you could get the random odd, ultra fresh, ultra fruity batch of Creed's Aventus, but usually, this is going to come across more fresh, and it has more of that emphasis on citrus and pineapple that carries on longer here, whereas Creed's Aventus does transition more into the birch. That was a lot on just the first fragrance, so Nishane Hassevat, first one here. Next one is from Zerzov, and it's this fragrance right here, Neo. This one has bergamot, neroli, green notes, and pink pepper as some of the notes in the fragrance, and this right here, this is gonna be one of the best smelling, highest quality citrus white floral fragrances that you're ever gonna smell. There's also some vetiver in here, so you're gonna get a nice little bit of woodiness as it dries down, retains that freshness through the lifetime of the fragrance. This is essentially taking a citrus smelling fragrance and elevating it to the next level. It gives it class, gives it sophistication. Well, I don't know if I should start talking about sophistication with each one of these, but it does have classiness. So that makes it where even though this is just citrus and neroli with a little bit of woodiness in the base, even though it's got that formula that you may think you've smelled 100 times before, the way that it's done there, next level, like I said. Fantastic in spring, fantastic in summer. Realistically though, pull it off whenever you want. Bust that out in the winter, get a nice little frostiness to that citrus when you spray it on. Really good. This next fragrance is modern, but it has a classic vibe to it. It's got that throwback, gentlemanly sort of vibe to it. It is Creed Viking. When this fragrance came out, it was a bit divisive. People really didn't know what to think about it. Obviously, you can see the similarity between this bottle and the Aventus bottle. So a lot of people viewed this as the next Aventus, potentially, that this would be the next men's fragrance that changed everything and had every single brand running out with their version of Viking. That's what people thought was going to happen, and that did not happen. This has pink pepper, it's got mint, sandalwood, lavender, some citrus in here as well. This does have a bit of a similarity to Old Spice. That Old Spice, yeah, just the one that you would find in Walmart. So yes, that Old Spice. There's a similarity here, but Viking is so much better and so much more. It just has that kind of vibe, that kind of, again, gentlemanly vibe to it, but very modern at the same time. This one's very clean. It's got pops of spice. It's got that nice creamy sandalwood as it dries down. This fragrance is right at home casually, and even more so right at home in the office or in formal situations. And you may think, because it does have that vibe of Old Spice, that only middle-aged guys or older are gonna like this one or appreciate this one. That's not true. The way that Viking is done, it can appeal to pretty much any age range. Other than maybe like 14-year-olds, 15-year-olds probably don't want to wear Viking. Unless you're a 15-year-old that balls hard. And if you are, Viking. As I mentioned, it was a bit divisive when it first came out. A lot of people were hating on it, but over time, as more people have gotten their hands on it, more people have smelled it, the general consensus toward that fragrance has gone more positive. Next up, a personal favorite of mine, Memo African Leather. As cardamom, saffron, vetiver, and of course leather as some of the notes in the fragrance, this stuff right here, this stuff is killer in the fall and the winter. It does have a little bit of a designer feel from the cardamom, because the cardamom does give this a really nice, sexy spiciness. Cardamom, of course, used heavily in La Nuit de l'Homme, which is where most people will know that spicy note from. But it is used perfectly in African leather, and the quality is very high. And also, myself, I'm a huge fan of these bottles. I absolutely love the look. Very simplistic in the design of the bottle itself, but then you have that nice, really big metal plaque right on the front that draws your attention. And it kind of makes them collectible, like Pokemon. And then you end up having to get all the Memo fragrances. So, thanks Memo. Thanks for that. No, I like paying $300 for each bottle. That's great. Really though, honestly, truthfully, for real, 100%, the cardamom, the saffron here is awesome. The way that those two spices combine together is just jaw-droppingly fantastic for myself and my wife as well. She loves that one, and so happy wife, happy life. Am I right? Yeah, I'm right. The leather never really comes out that much, never becomes really a leather fragrance, honestly. It's more focused on the spice than it is the leather. The leather's there, it's just overshadowed. And as it dries down, you would think, well, maybe the leather's gonna come out more and just really be powerful there in the dry down. No, actually the vetiver kind of comes up and melds with the leather at that point. So the leather never really shines on its own, but all the other things going on with it take that to the next level. That's my saying for today's video, to the next level. Everything is to the next level. Can this next fragrance take it to the next level? Yes, it can, as long as the starting level is Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, because the next fragrance is Parfums de Marly Percival, which basically is, in fact, Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce taken to the next level. Thank you. I'll be here all week. Thank you. Have a good night. This one's got lavender, citrus, ambroxan, balsam fir, and hidione as some of the notes in the fragrance. And yes, it's a very simplistic way to describe this, to say Abercrombie & Fitch Fierce, if its budget was much, much higher than it was, but at the same time, that's also pretty much what this is. Now, as I mentioned, it does smell higher end, does smell more luxurious. You also might be able to say that this is a little bit higher end than Fierce, and you could also say that Percival would do better in formal situations or business situations than Fierce might. And honestly, the fierce comparison is not really a bad thing if we're talking about just versatility. Because let's be honest here, fierce works. People like it. People have worn it for years and years and years in every situation imaginable, and it keeps selling. And the fragrance line of Fierce is still alive with new flankers coming out even today. Actually, a new flanker came out last week, I think. So if we're talking versatility, being compared to Fierce, not the worst thing on earth. And if you're just getting into niche fragrances, just dipping your toes in the water, and you want something easy to wear that's very versatile, that people are gonna like, that people are gonna compliment and say, hey man, you smell really good, this will do it for you. So there we go, 5 different easy to wear niche fragrances that are very versatile. Yes, maybe something like African leather, a little bit better for fall and winter. Neo, a little bit better for spring and summer. But overall, these are all extremely versatile. Again, shout out to Fragrance USA for sponsoring the video. Again, link in the description to that website. Go ahead and check them out anytime you're in the market for a fragrance, and use that code GENT15. No S, just GENT, singular, one GENT15 to get yourself 15% off. All right guys, it's gonna do it for me. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Thanks for all your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with another fragrance video. See you guys later. Oh, why'd I do that?